For centuries, Latinos and Latinas have faced discrimination in the workplace, educational settings, healthcare, housing, and even the criminal justice system. Alissa, a medical assistant and student, shares her experience of being stereotyped in both settings.
Hi, my name is Alissa, and I am here to tell you about the time I feel like I got stereotyped. I'm not sure if you would consider it stereotyped, but I had just barely started working at the hospital as a medical assistant, and I wasn't wearing my badge that first day, and I wore dark blue scrubs, which was the same color that the janitorial team had wore. So when I first got there, I was asking for directions because I was not sure what building I was to meet my manager at. And the person I was talking to just happened to be a part of the janitorial team. And as we were talking, this lady comes up to me and tells me that there's a mess to clean up in the bathroom. And I looked at her and I said, I will go ahead and let the janitorial team know. And she looked at me confused and she said, you're not a part of the janitorial team. And I said, no, I actually work here as a medical assistant. And it was a little bit awkward for a second, but we both laughed it off and we went our separate ways. So yeah, that was an interesting experience. Another way that I was stereotyped for being Latino or Latino was in school. And I want to say me and my sister had experienced the same experience, because when I was going to school for medical assisting, I always got laughed at by other classmates because I couldn't understand certain words in the book that were in English, because growing up in a Latina household, it would be Spanish to English, English to Spanish. So it is still a little bit confusing for me to read English. So I got told that I won't be able to graduate because I keep going into the mentality of reading in Spanish than understanding English. So I got told that I won't understand what the patient says. And my sister had the same experience, but in high school she was more like, she wanted to be pretty in high school, so she was concerned with her looks, but she did really good with her grades. But other kids didn't see that. They decided that she was just going to drop out of school before her senior year ended, and so she proved them wrong with help from family and friends. I think that having help from family and friends would really encourage someone to prove someone wrong. My sister, she was encouraged by her friends not to listen to all these bullies and to keep going, and she graduated high school.
Angela, a medical assistant, shares her experience of being stereotyped at her past job.
Hi, I'm Angela. I work at the Sierra Vista Medical Group Department next to the Canyon Vista Hospital. The way I've been stereotyped in the past, not in the medical field, but just in administration. I used to work at a call center where they would just stereotype you basically if I have an accent. I'm Mexican. Well, my parents are from Mexico and I'm from here. But that's besides the point. Every time I would get a call and my accent would come through, they were like, I want to speak to someone in America. And I would tell them, I speak English and I'm not from whoever you spoke to before, because that's a very common stereotype that we would get when we would take calls from the call centers. That was one instance that I would constantly get. Another one that I would get would be from actual upper management, where they would think that they didn't need an input from someone who speaks Spanish, because they thought that it's not necessary to have somebody who spoke Spanish in a certain department, which is not okay. All I can really say is that it's a constant battle, and I hope over the next few years that gets better. But the most thing that I would get at work is just when I used to work at the call center, that they would think we're all from India and they would like to speak to someone in America.
This is Francisco, a machinist and Chicano that experienced discrimination in the workplace.
Some of the ways I deal with discrimination at work is, for one, I continue to educate myself. I've never stopped. I'm coming to the end of my machine tool technology degree here at Pima, and it's not only me. I've convinced others at work who are Chicano just like me, or Mexicano, to educate themselves, so that we can, get into bigger positions, and we're given those big ticket jobs, to manage and supervise and do those things. This is what we have to do. We have to work harder than certain people to achieve these things, and us being willing to do that will only make us better as individuals.
As you can see, even with the Civil Rights Act that was passed to stop discrimination and stereotyping others, it is an issue that is still prevalent today. In fact, with the new DEI law, some are worried that it will increase racial discrimination. Recently, Trump has signed an executive order to gut DEI efforts on the basis of how it's disrupting companies. This decision came shortly after a plane crashed in Washington, D.C., claiming 67 lives. Now, what exactly is DEI? First, we must discuss where it stems from, which is the Civil Rights Act of 1964. This act prohibits discrimination in hiring, promotion, discharge, pay, fringe benefits, job training, classification, referral, and other aspects of employment. This is to be enforced by the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, or the EOC. The EOC has the authority to investigate charges of discrimination against employers who are covered by the law. They are to fairly and accurately assess the allegations in any charge and then make a finding. If the finding rules discrimination has occurred, they will settle the charge. 44% of Latino professionals say they have faced blatant discrimination or microaggressions at work. Corporate America needs to play a critical role in ensuring Latinos are treated equally at work. But in many cases, it is challenging to prove discrimination due to colorism because of a lack of civil protections. Such laws need to be enacted to combat this form of discrimination.